First of all, it's a book I don't know how to introduce to you all. I mean, there's a quote from this book which says, "I feel like I am being given the permission to stay alive. And put your entire faith in me when I say that this book will make you face realities in a manner that no other book would have ever done to you." Hello everyone, Namaste, a very warm welcome to my channel. This is Muskan and I hope from the bottom of my heart that you all are doing great, and if not, then please be hopeful and please be patient, because if it's the silence before the storm, then it is the storm before the silence. But I'll open up to you, I am not feeling that great, especially after reading this book, which is The Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung. This book has been shortlisted for the Booker Prize for the year 2022, and the author has received the Penn Hemingway grant for her work. Now, Cursed Bunny is a collection of 10 short stories and is a genre-defying book, which means that the author has the author has blurred the boundaries between different genres of magical realism, horror and science fiction, and through all of these stories, Bora Chung has tried to highlight, or it would be better to say that she has tried to address the facets of society, of patriarchy, of capitalism, of myths, of taboos, and of the devil of a conscience that sits at the heart of humans, and how all of these combine together and impact our lives in some way or the other. When I placed my order for this book through Amazon, there was one of the review on platform that said, "Please don't read this book at night." Although after reading this book, I didn't feel that the stories have that kind of horror element to it, which makes you not want to read this book at night. But here's an extension of that thought. If you are to pick this book up, make it a point and highlight it with the most striking color that you have to read the trigger warnings prior to reading this book. And please don't come screaming at me that you didn't warn us before. I just gave you the warning. Do read the trigger warnings if you want to read this book. All right. Starting with the first short story, which is named as The Head, it really grossed me out. I mean, I was feeling a bit nauseous while reading this book, but as I progressed through the pages, it just made me realize that we cannot run away from our problems. We cannot run away from our difficulties and troubles, and we have to face them at some point or the other, or it would come back upon us like a boomerang. And it just made me realize that the way we treat each other, the way we treat other human beings and other creation of this university called life, it is how we shape our children. In terms of values, the values that we pass on to our future generation. It just made me realize that. And I understand that we are aware of this fact. We are aware that how we behave is how our children inculcate those values in themselves. But it is really striking, and the images in this story is really explicit and vague, and you must read this story to understand what I am trying to express right now. Next short story, The Embodiment, is a story that looks vaguely upon the patriarchal structure of the society. It highlights how the society expects women to be wives and mothers in order to receive acceptance from the society. And it just made me question, do women in the society really have the right to have their own identities? The third short story, which is named as The Cursed Bunny, and apparently the book has been named after the short story as well, is my most favorite amongst all. It is a tale of revenge against a corporate CEO who used his privileged power to destroy the life of a family in their struggle. And I would like to quote something from the story which we all must listen to and which we all must strictly abide by. And it is, there's a Japanese saying that goes, "Cursing others leads to two graves. Anyone who curses another person is sure to end up in a grave themselves." Now read the story for yourself, and I'm sure that you will realize all the things that we usually keep locked in a neglected corner. And if I were to define this book or to describe this book in a few words, I would say that the stories in this book are nerve-wracking, they are gut-wrenching, and it just made me feel as if I'm sitting at the center of a circle and being stared at by hundreds of ghosts of my inherited past, and as if they are looking at me like the moons of Jupiter would look at the planet. The only difference being that the stories make you aware of the darkness of our reality. Read this book if you want to look in the mirror with the society in the background. Do read the trigger warnings prior to read this book, and do not read this book if you are under 16. And that is all that I wanted to say about this book. Thank you so much for watching till the end. And if you liked watching the video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. No worries. Just stay happy, stay blessed, and keep reading until we meet next time. Ciao. Closed me out. It made me feel a little bit it's how, Mummy.